Why strong people lose respect without saying a single word. There is a type of person who walks into a room and, without saying anything, has already lost everyone's respect. Not because they did something wrong, not because they are weak or incompetent, but because something in the way they carry themselves communicates a silent message that no one can ignore. And what is most disturbing is that this person usually has no idea they are doing it. They think they are being strong. They think they are in control. But what others see is something else entirely. Have you ever been in that situation? Have you ever felt that the people around you started treating you differently with no obvious reason? No conflict, no argument, no clear moment of rupture? It may be that the problem is not in what you said. It may lie in exactly what you did not say, and in how your body, your reactions, and your silence are speaking for you every single moment. Here is the principle that few people truly understand. Respect is not built with words. It is built with internal consistency and lost through emotional inconsistency. When a person reacts disproportionately to a small criticism, when they constantly need validation to feel secure, when their posture shifts depending on who is in the room, even without saying a word, they are sending a clear signal to everyone's unconscious mind. This person does not yet govern themselves, and whoever cannot govern themselves cannot lead, cannot be trusted, cannot be genuinely admired. The Bible described this phenomenon with striking precision. In Proverbs 25:28, it is written, "Like a city whose walls are broken through, so is a person who lacks self-control." Notice the image. A city without walls is not necessarily destroyed. It is still standing, but it is vulnerable, exposed. Anything can enter, and anything can bring it down. That is exactly what happens with a person who has not developed inner self-mastery. On the outside, everything looks fine, but on the inside, any pressure finds an open path. And people feel this. They may not be able to name it, but they feel it. Respect begins to drain away silently, like water through open fingers. Think of someone you deeply admire. It is probably not the person who talks the most, not the one who defends themselves the most. It is the one who, when the atmosphere grows tense, remains calm, who, when provoked, responds with measure, who, when they make a mistake, owns it without drama, who, when they succeed, does not need applause to know they got it right. That kind of presence is not empty silence, it is silence loaded with identity. Most people confuse emotional mastery with coldness. They think that controlling emotions means suppressing them, hiding them, pretending they do not exist. But that is the opposite of maturity. Emotional mastery is the ability to feel everything, the anger, the fear, the insecurity, and still not be governed by those feelings in the moment a decision needs to be made. It is as the Apostle Paul wrote in Philippians 4, verse 11, "I have learned in whatever state I am to be content." The key word is learned. This is not a gift, it is a construction. It is a process. It is a daily discipline that most people avoid because it is deeply uncomfortable. And here is the point that needs to truly land for you. You may be losing the respect of the most important people in your life, not because you do wrong things, but because you react in ways that communicate instability. A furrowed brow at the wrong moment, a sigh heavy with judgment, a silence that punishes rather than reflects, a posture that closes when it should open. Small signals, but constant ones, and the human mind is a pattern-reading machine. The people around you are processing those signals all the time, even without consciously realizing it. The shift happens when you stop trying to control what others think of you and start working on what you project without meaning to. Because what you project without meaning to is a reflection of what has not yet been resolved within you, unaddressed insecurities, old wounds that still react to the slightest touch, limiting beliefs that still govern your automatic responses. Real strength is not the absence of emotion, it is full presence with integrated emotion. It is being able to walk into any environment, any conversation, any conflict, and remain yourself, whole, centered. Not because the environment is easy, but because you have built something inside that the environment cannot dismantle. That is the kind of leadership that does not need to announce itself, that does not need to defend itself, that does not need to convince anyone. It simply is. And people, even without knowing how to explain it, recognize it, and they respect it. If something in this touched a real point in your life, take a moment, not to judge yourself, but to observe yourself. What reaction of yours has been communicating the opposite of what you want to convey? Write it in the comments.